Welcome, welcome, everybody. Get over to comments. All right, I think we're good. So let me know when I start to see eyeballs pop on here. Let me know that you're here. Oops, gotta turn that down. I think we're good. Today is Thursday, July 20th. I am Toni Tesler, ToniStamps. It's my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you find something you like. I do all kinds of different things. If you are a returning viewer, thank you. I appreciate everybody. So just let's somebody tell me, hey Penny. Okay, so I assume you can hear me and everything's good. Yep, I think the right thing is muted. And hi Deb, awesome. Okay, so yeah, we're good. Couple of announcements and then we're going to get to this, and we're going to get this album made in under an hour. Now, I did not pull pictures. I tried, I went through stuff, and I just didn't have the right number of different things. So the important part is getting the album made, right? Oh, Penny, you're killing me. All right, so Al's class, I got that order put in Monday. Didn't have anything that was like unavailable, so that's good. It has not shipped yet though, so I think it said 4 to 9 days for shipping, so I just hope it's not the 9 days. But for everybody that signed up for the Adorable Al's class, hey Di, I will keep you posted as soon as I have a shipping date, like from Stampin' Up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut everything I need to get ready, and then just waiting for those supplies, and then I can finish your packets and get them out in the mail. But I'll keep everybody posted. The other big thing this week was that dang Trucking Along bundle. So it went available again on Monday, and luckily I got one. Then the punch, it was only available for like 2 hours. Then the punch went on back order. So I've seen on plenty of other demonstrators pages, they were encouraging people to just buy the punch before, when the stamp set wasn't available. And they said, because the stamp set's going to come back, don't worry, get it now. Well, I never suggested that, because then you don't reap the benefits of the bundle price, like saving the 10%. So now the punch is not expected back in until October 16th. So it'll still be in time for if you're trying to make holiday cards with it. But I'm going to be doing something with it before then, because I know darn well you guys can use any other truck set that you have. So there's 2 others that I can think of that have been in the past. One is Loads of Love. That was from like a long time ago. The other one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was the same old-timey style truck, and it had like a bigger tree that hung out the back, and it had dies. So Loads of Love did not have any dies or punches or anything. The other one that was just like 3 years ago, hey Rose, yeah, I'm glad I got it ordered too. So the other one had dies, and now this one, Trucking Along, has a punch. Realistically, you don't need the punch as long as you don't mind cutting stuff. And even to cut that truck out, it's not that big a deal. So if you wanted it, oh, I got an itch. If you wanted the bundle, you're going to have to wait till October. And then, since it's dependent on the punch, you better get your order in quick, because once that goes out in October, I don't think they'll be getting any more. Or you just get the stamps and hand cut stuff, right? Like, it's not the end of the world. So, oh, you like my earrings? Yeah, my little Scrabble ones. I have another set that I wear for special occasions at work. One is a F and the other one is a U. So I crack myself up every time. We found these at a craft show, and you buy like whatever letter you want, and I was like, oh, I need those. So I know you will appreciate that, because some people need to see it, All right, so you're getting me off track. All right, so Trucking Along, October 16th. Then next week I'm going to do, I haven't done any Christmas cards yet, like even for myself this year. I can't think of one Christmas card that I've made. So next week we're going to do some Christmas in July, but I hardly have anything. Like, I got the one horse sleigh, or one horse open sleigh paper. the Snowflake Gems. I did order the So Very Merry set, which should be here Saturday. It only took like 2 weeks to get here. And then my Trucking Along bundle, that'll not be here in time. So limited supplies. We're gonna do what we can next week, Ty. All right, so tonight, let's get down here. We're gonna make a Stack the Deck album. Now, Stack the Deck can be a hinge binding system, but it's also, you can use it to make a whole album. Oh, and let me show. This is one of the ones that I made. This was my first prototype and using this method. And this one is 4.5 by 6 3/4. But the idea is the same, that we're going to, the Stack the Deck is what we're going to use it to make the whole pages. But if you wanted to make just a hinge, you could, same principle, but these would be shorter. So ours is going to be square because I like this size. I had to do minimal cutting down of my pictures. And this was from last spring's crop. Oh, look. Hey, Di, there you are with your cuckoo bees. And then us and Lori. So I have plenty of room to add like some words and things. So yeah, that was our spring crops with Denise. And then I have a pocket. So we're going to do similar style book, but square because I like it. A little square album. Are you kidding me? Totally cute. So our finished book is going to be 5.5 by 5.5. And I will have measurements on my blog after this. Okay. So I'm not going to have like step-by-step instructions though. Right. So we'll do all the materials. We'll go through that. Oh, and by the way, I'm using the Bright and Beautiful papers tonight. So to start out with, we need, and I've been updating changing around how I make my little books. So I've seen a lot of people using adhesive sheets because you want a full coverage on your chipboard. So you need 2 pieces of chipboard, 5.5 by 5.5. Then you need the same 2 pieces, 5.5 by 5.5 of adhesive sheets. Now, I'm using the Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets. ScorTape makes 8.5 by 11 sheets or 12 by 12 sheets. You'd have to Google to find, like, not every place has them. Those are thicker and I imagine more sturdy. They're also more expensive, but that's something to check out, right? If you want to. But I'm going to use these. It's going to be good enough. The thing when we cover our album, so we're going to make a covered album, you don't want any air bubbles or wrinkles. And to avoid that, you use some sort of complete coverage adhesive. So that's what we're going with these. So 5.5 by 5.5, both of these. Then our spine is going to be 5.5 by 1 inch. All right. And the same thing with adhesive, 5.5 by 1 inch. So I already cut these out of, I used 1 adhesive sheet because our adhesive sheets from Stampin' Up! They are 6 by 12. So it just took me 1 sheet to get this. So I'm just peeling this paper off. And then you're going to want to do your burnishing. And if you have any air bubbles here, we don't want that. All right, so you're going to be careful when you apply your adhesive sheets. And I really could have done this ahead of time, but did not occur to me. Now, if you hear the lawnmower going, that is because Dave is out there cutting the grass. It finally pretty much broke our heat wave. It wasn't as hot today, but it's been miserable. Certainly not as miserable as Rose or Sharon out in the desert. Oh my God. She said something last week. It was 120 or something. That's just too hot. I would not make it. I think I'm more suited to Alaska or somewhere cold. That would be my ideal. All right. So I'm just burnishing this. And the fact that some of this is hanging over, like, I'm not going to worry about that. Hey, Julie. So you haven't missed much of anything. We've got 2 pieces of chipboard, 5.5 by 5.5, 1 piece of chipboard, 1 by 5.5, and then I'm using adhesive sheets in those same measurements. So 5.5 by 5.5 and 1 by 5.5. These are the Stampin' Up! Ones. ScorTape or Sizzix, I'm sure makes, I think I even saw some on Amazon, makes a stronger adhesive, like full sheets. But this is going to be good enough for what I want. So, all right, we've got that. So we've got our adhesive applied to all of our chipboard. Okay. Then we need, oh, and my nose is itching again. Hold on. Good thing you can't see my face because it looks like I'm picking my nose, but I'm not. It's itchy. Sue, it's been a dry heat. So yeah, humidity is terrible, but still dry heat at 120, that's too many degrees. It seems like every time we've been to Vegas for Pool League, it's always in August. So it's like 120, 117, and yeah, it's a dry heat, but it's awful. All right, our cover. So we're making this, our wrapped cover. You could use a piece of, well, 12 by 12, it would be a struggle, but you could use a piece of designer paper like I did on my first one, but I'm going to do cardstock. So we need, this is how our cover is going to get laid out. We've got our covers and then our spine. So 5.5, 5.5, 1. We need to have at least 1/8 of an inch in between these pieces. That's so the covers can move freely and, not like, if they're too close together, let's say they were this close together, like right next to it, it would only move and open like that much. It wouldn't completely open. So that's why 1/8 of an inch, I'm actually going to use my Creative Memories. This is like a 0 ruler, and the width of this is pretty good. I think it's right at 1/8. I'm not sure, but this is what I've been using lately, and that seems to be really good. So whatever you need. But our pieces, so our covers, we're going to use Lemon Lime Twist and 2 pieces. These are 7.5 by 8.5. All right. So when you're measuring out the piece that you want, we want 1 inch all around, okay, our pieces. So since this is 5.5, we want 1 inch here and here. So that's why the height has to be 7.5. And then 8.5, I just kind of guessed like halfway, and then we have to piece them together. But let me find, which is the 7.5. This is the 7.5 side. Okay, so we are going to join these together just like this. I'm going to take some tear and tape, and I'm going to run it. This is 1/4 inch. So use tear and tape, use ScorTape, whatever you want. But I do recommend that you use tape and then add a little bit of glue too. But we're going to run this right at the very edge, just to join these 2 pieces together. All right, and whenever you put tape down, you want to burnish. All right, peel this up, whatever side I can grab it from. So yeah, this 5.5 by 5.5, it's going to have 5 by 5 pages, and it's going to be really cute. All right, I'm doing a little bit of glue right on top of that tape, and then I'm just going to marry these up. I just want to go right over the tape and keep it nice and straight. Press, burnish. And I feel like a little bit of glue might leak out, but that's okay. All right, press, press, press. So now this is our sheet. So this is probably what, like 7.5 by 16 or so. I'm going to end up cutting some off the edges, but hi, Amy. But this is good to start with. Now, I want to put this, I want to start with the spine, all right? And I want it right in the middle, and I want it straight. So I'm going to take this ruler and a pencil. So remember I said I want 1 inch at the top and 1 inch at the bottom, all right? So we can place that. So I'm going to go in here, and looks like this, what, 4 squares are 1 inch? Is that right? I haven't used this part yet. Yep. Okay, so this is just like sewing ruler, kind of. All right, so 1-inch mark. Now I can just hold it in place. I'm just going to do a line too, but it is a good idea to hold this in place. So straight 1-inch in, we're going to peel our tape. Oh, now the chipboard. I did not buy this chipboard. I have purchased chipboard. I do have 12 by 12 sheets, but this stuff in particular came from the paper pumpkin. The stuff that's, you know, at the bottom of our kits. All right, now this, I'm not going to add any more liquid glue. I'm just eyeballing, but you certainly could. All right, keep that straight, and I do want to press it down, press it down. All right, now I want to add my sheet here and here, and this line is going to help me, but now I need to use this so I get that right gap, so I don't need my pencil anymore. All right, let's peel this up. Hope it comes up nice. The only thing with this, the paper pumpkin like junky chipboard is sometimes when you're peeling up this adhesive, it will just like rip a whole chunk off. It's, you know, like particle board or something. But for this kind of project, it is good enough. All right, so we've got our total coverage. And I'm going to hold this. Oh, these edges are so sticky. So I want to be even with this line down here. And then I'm going to put my ruler in place. So I have that gap. And I'm just looking. That looked right. Okay. Seems like I went a tiny bit over the line. I don't know how that happened. But as long as they're all even. Okay. Hi, Judy. As long as everything's even, that's fine. And again, we're going to burnish. I'm pushing down really hard. There's a lot of adhesive when you're making mini albums, you guys. But I feel like this one is simple enough that anybody can make this. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on this one. We've got our adhesive on our chipboard, 5.5 by 5.5. And we're just going to peel this up. And hold it. Now I'm just going kind of slow because I want to make sure that adhesive stays on my chipboard. And that's another thing that burnishing it down helps. Like when I apply the adhesive sheet and then we burnished, that helps, like, I don't know, get it all in the grooves or something. All right, so our spacer, putting that in. And then eyeballing top and bottom. That looks good. Okay. We're done with that. And then let's burnish. And you know what? I need to reach another packet of tearing tape because I know I'm going to need it. Oh, here we go. When you're making these albums, it can really use a lot of tape. All right, so burnish, burnish, burnish. Now I'm going to flip it over. Burnish, burnish, burnish again. All right, over all the pieces. We want all of those to be stuck down. Okay. And now you can see how much extra there is on the side. So I'm just going to cut that off. Again, I want like about 1 inch hanging over. And no one's going to see the inside of this. I mean, we're covering it all up, so it doesn't have to be straight. All right, these I'm not really going to save. We don't need that. All right, at this point, there is no up or down. So we're going to come in with our tearing tape or ScorTape, whatever you're using. Let me stick this back in. So if you've noticed, I am now moved on to my art glitter glue, which I'm finding I can't keep it open as long as the Barely Art. So I definitely want to get this in here. There we go. Okay. I am going to use that later though. All right, now we want your tear and tape. We're going to go across the whole bottom. And we're going to go around all the sides. All right. And I don't know if this is still in frame. Yeah. So cover all 4 sides right on the chipboard itself. And I ran right over these gaps. So you don't have to do like this piece and then rip it and then a little piece there. No, just keep running right across everything. All right. And then one more here. And then I think I'm at the end of that tape. Oh, yep. All right. See, I knew I needed more. Okay. Oh, is it? It's raining, Sue? Sprinkling. Oh, hey, Marilyn's here too. Awesome. Yeah, Marilyn, I'm glad you got that figured out. Sometimes when I was doing Facebook, like live directly to Facebook, I had to do that a bunch. Uninstall it or, delete it, reinstall it. It got to be a pain. So that was one of the reasons why I went to StreamYard, just because it made it easier. All right, burnishing all the tape bits. And then I'm going to come around and do the tape all around the very outer perimeter, outer edge. And we are going to cut our corners off so I don't have to run it like completely into the corner. But I do want a continuous line. And then we will burnish. I think covering, making album covers, I just think it's really neat. And how you can make any album you want in any color you want, any paper you want. And yeah, if you have to piece them together, some people don't like this seam that you will see, but I could care less about it. And really, you can cover it up. We're going to cover up a little piece of it, but that doesn't bother me. I just like the fact that we can customize our album for whatever. All right, so burnish, burnish, burnish. Then we're going to trim our corners, and I just go right across. Now we want to leave like, that's like a 1/16 of an inch. You want to leave a little bit, not too much. But we want to get kind of close to that corner. And see how I'm curving some of these? Doesn't matter. We're just debulking and getting rid of these. All right, now comes the wrapping part. So cardstock, we need to bend it, but we don't want to just like crunch it. We want to treat it nice. So let's start with this bottom one. We're gonna hold these in place and do a little bit of bending. All right, slow, slow, slow. So it kind of trains it to where it's going to go. And hopefully we won't have any cracking. All right, so see, bending, bending. And we're going to do that on all the sides. And then I'm going to come back with a bone folder. All right, sorry, I know that's like all up in your face. I'm going to come back with a bone folder and go around each edge too, because we want these edges to be nice, not lumpy looking. All right, so that's like halfway. Okay. Now I'm going to take you take whatever tool you want. If you have this kind of bone folder, we just want to run this right along the edge. All right, and I've got it at an angle just because it's easier for me to work with. All right, you could do this. We're still training it, or use this chisel edge. I'm going to use this flat one. Just going flat, and we're going to do that on all the sides again. That's really going to get it a nice crisp edge up against that chipboard. Because, you know, chipboard is not just like a piece of paper. You can buy it in different thicknesses. This, I think, would be maybe medium. Thin stuff, I think, is more like cereal boxes, which you can totally make this album with cereal boxes. If you don't have any chipboard, just go to your pantry and use a cereal box. And if it's not thick enough for your liking, then cut double and glue them together. And then you have thicker chipboard. So always an option. And especially consider cereal boxes or cracker boxes, you know, pasta boxes, whatever. Especially if you're making like some, you know, not like a family heirloom album, just something quick and fun, or a journal or something. Use those things. All right, so now we've got this, and I want to go ahead and bend it over that second edge. And again, I want to be kind of careful because I don't want to have any rips. And so far I don't, but that is questionable. And that's where we've got it doubled up. So just want to be careful. What I do want to put is a bead of glue right in that groove. Oops. Okay. This will be fine. Now I'm going to peel this up. And peel this up. And then I'm going to start in the middle and press down and then go out, like grabbing it from the top and dragging it down so everything is nice and like airtight. And then let's run this over that edge and the top edge. So we're hitting all where we had our adhesive. And hopefully, all right, that's a good edge. Or it's going to be. That'll smooth out when that glue dries. But the important part is no cracks. All right, and then we'll do the same thing here. We want to bring this over completely just to bend it in place, show it who's boss, and then add our glue. And I hope you can see this. I'm adding this glue right in the gully. All right, right up next to our chipboard. And that's also just going to help the cover stay where it's supposed to. We don't want anything coming up. All right, so peel these up. Now, if you wanted to add more glue, like on top of the tape, you could. That's up to you. Penny, your chipboard is a Pringles can. Well, that would make a nice round album, huh? You know, a guy at work used to eat Pringles every day for lunch. He would have an entire can of Pringles. I never saw sandwiches. I never saw real food. Just a collection of Pringles cans. All right. Now, see how some of my glue is coming out? That's fine. Just going to wipe it right there in the middle. All right. And let's check. Looks pretty good. And then same thing on our sides. We want to add, oh, whoops. Let's fold this over first. Gently, gently. Now these edges, this is where you need a chisel tip or the side of your bone folder. So the teeny tiny little corners where we have that hanging over, we just want to smash that down. All right. And then press over. And if you had a corner poking through, it's not the end of the world. You could cover it, you could put marker on it or something, or just act like it's not there. Just ignore it. All right, glue down the side. Ooh, I'm having indigestion. All right, and then again up and over, and I'm starting in the middle, and then each side. All right, And the fact that that came together nice. Like it is point to point. Awesome. All right. Bone folder, and then we'll do our final side. Again, let's fold it up and let's go over. Then open it back up and we'll add our glue. Oh, if I could get this tape off. And then we'll be ready to start making our stack the deck pages. Okay, so glue. Now this album, I've said it's really good for beginners. It's easy. This is not going to have any flip outs or fold outs or tuck spots. I mean, you can add those later if you want, but we're just making basic pages that you can glue pictures in. We're not doing anything. And frankly, the measurements are not going to allow for a lot of thick embellishments. All right. So just strictly, pages and minimal embellishments, something easy. All right. Again, in the middle and then out. Now this side did not come together. Like I probably cut the corner a little too close, but that's not going to be the end of the world for me. And actually we're going to have a pocket. That we may still be able to see that, but I'm going to get over it. I'll tell you that right now. All right. Bone fold, bone fold. Now this part in the middle. So we've got our book. That's a really nice looking cover. I love it. Everything looks straight. Now we have to kind of do the same thing. Train these pages to bend up, all right, without cracking. So we want to do it a little bit and then take like whatever you have that has a rounded edge and get in here and just go over where the chipboard gap is, all right? That's good. Same thing here. We're going to bend it up. Get that cover going, and then go back in and burnish down with our embossing folder or embossing tool. All right, now see when I open it, how that gap, you can still see a little bit of the paper. That's good. That means that the chipboard isn't going to interfere with each other as far as moving. So, I am liking it. So we've got a 5.5 by 5.5 base book. This is definitely going to be the back and the front. All right, now let's talk about, we need to cover up this area right here because our pages are going to be, well, actually, let's make the pages first. So this is going to have 12 pages, which is actually 6 pages, but 2 sides each, so 12. So with Stack the Deck, your pages are staggered. Think of like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. We've got big, medium, and small. Now they're all 5 inches tall because I want 5-inch pages. So our first one, and again, all these measurements will be on my blog. So we have a piece that is our smallest one is 5 by 10 and 1/8. Okay. Then we've got 5 by 10 and 3/8. So that's a 1/4 inch bigger. Then we've got 5 by 10 and 5/8. All right. Now let's put this out. We do need our scoreboard. So we're going to score each piece of this at 5 inches on both sides. All right. So let's do the biggest one. So we'll go 5, and I don't want to mess around with the right side because this is 10 and 5/8, right? So to go in 5, I got to come 5 and 5/8. I don't want to do all that math. I'm just going to turn and score at 5. All right, so this is a 5/8 inch gap in between there. And I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that a little bit. All right, same thing for the medium one. Again, this is 5 by 10 and 3/8. But we're scoring at 5 and flip it and 5. Now we have an even smaller gap. Oh, you know what? This is the middle piece. This was 10 and 1/8. Now this one is 10 and 3/8. This is the middle piece. 5, turn 5. All right. Now the stack the deck comes into play where we're going to stack these pieces by their, each page is going to get folded and has this spine. And then we're just going to glue them on top of each other. And that is our stack the deck. So let's start with, it doesn't really matter. They all have to get folded and burnished. All right. Fold and fold. This will be our bottom one. And make sure everything is straight. All right. So see this? That's our 5/8 inch spine. This is going to be on the bottom. Then our next one was the 5 by 10 and 3/8. Do all these folds. This is going to have a 3/8 inch spine. I'm going to fold these. Let me flip it over. All right. So we're going to glue this to the middle of this. All right. And then our last one. Now this has a 1/8 of an inch spine. Sometimes that's hard, and this bad boy comes in handy again. So where do I want to put this? I want this all out of the way. All right, so I folded that. Now I'm going to put this right up next to my other score mark, just so it has room. There we go. And that, did I just trick myself? Yeah, okay, got it. That's just to get it started, because that 1/8 inch fold is really hard to get a lot of times. All right, flip it over, and I do want to burnish it. It's really teeny tiny. This edge comes in handy of my scoring tool. All right, so 1/8 inch spine, teeny tiny, but all of our pages are 5 by 5. So that is pretty sweet. So the page size stays the same, you know, because we scored everything at 5. It's just this gap in the middle, the spine gets bigger and bigger and allows us to stack our deck. All right, so you can either start with the smallest one, gluing to the middle, then the biggest one. I think I did that last time, and I'm going to try, hey, Marcia, I'm going to go with starting gluing the middle. So let's do the middle Goldilocks, and I'm going to glue this spine. I'm going to cover this completely with glue. Now, if you wanted to use, if you wanted to use tape and glue, that's up to you. I think the liquid glue, this is going to be just fine. But it's always up to you. It doesn't hurt to use both a tape and a liquid glue. All right, now I want to get this centered in this middle edge. All right, now sometimes I've had better luck doing it this way, where I can see where I'm going to the side. And if you don't get it perfect, it's not the end of the world, right? All right, that looks pretty good. And I know you can't see this, but I'm just eyeballing. I want like 1/8 of an inch on this side and 1/8 of an inch on this side. And it is a little bit crooked. There we go. Straighten out my pages. So I'm making sure everything is straight top and bottom. And that looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to take this bone folder and go right down the middle. So we burnish, burnish, burnish. All right. So in this case, our stack the deck is actually making all the pages, but you can also use this to make a hinge for a different album, and your pieces would just be like a 1/2 inch on each side, not the whole 5-inch page. And then you would attach pages to there. It's a whole different thing. I've gone down so many YouTube rabbit holes on things because there's a lot of different ways you can make and bind your albums. But I like this just for a simple 12-page album that's fairly quick. All right, and now this, I'm just going to eyeball from the middle and try to keep everything straight. And then I will stand it up and double check the top. That looks good too. All right, I'm just going to hold this in place. Now this teeny tiny one, gussets, that's what these are called. And when it's the space in between the pages are called gussets. So by these measurements, we have 1/8 of an inch, I think, right? Yep, 1/8 of an inch gussets, which is typically very small. So not a lot of room for a lot of 3D stuff. So let's look at it this way. Oh, and we can bend it this way and this way. And you can see it's very flexible, and that's good. But notice everything's even along this side, along our spine. We've got 1/8 inch in between all that. Not a ton of room for a lot of doodads, but that's okay. I just wanted for like straight flat pages with, you know, minimal embellishments. But you can tart yours up however you want. Now we're going to take this. This spine is going to get glued to our chipboard spine. And this piece is smaller than this. So I want to cover up this area first, because say I glue this here. Well, then guess what? You can see that chipboard right there. Boo. We don't like that. So we need another piece of lemon lime twist. And this is 3 by 5 1/4. So remember, our album is 5 1/2 tall. So for this, I didn't make any score marks. My plan was just to put tape here. Where's my tape? Tape on the middle, and I'm going to go like about here. I'm going to lay 3 strips of this, and I'm not going all the way to the edge, top and bottom, just because I don't want to run into issues. But let's burnish this down, all this tape. Okay. And then we want to peel this up, and we're just going to lay this 3 by 5 1/4 piece right on top. If I can get this piece off, here we go. And I'm going to put a little glue at the top, and then back and forth, and then right here. I am going to add more glue later, but I want to get this piece down over the center. So this is just eyeballing. I'm mostly concerned that it's even top to bottom, because we're going to come in with other paper and cover these side parts up. The inside covers, really. All right, so let's burnish and press this glue. Oh, and I said we were going to get this done in an hour, and I really thought we were, but I'm looking now, 1/4 of. Don't think it's going to happen. Although, we'll see. All right, now this. Same thing. Where we had our side bits, I want to go back in with the embossing tool and just burnish down those ruts from opening. All right, we want to make sure that is good and down there. All right, doesn't hurt to bring this up, do some more burnishing, and add more glue. All right, so I'm going to add glue right at the very edge here. All right, doesn't hurt to get it all down in there, and then all over this flap of cardstock. All right. And let me show you, like, I'm really covering it. Okay. So again, I'm going to do right in the middle and then press this down. Okay, because I want this to bend in nicely. And all that extra cardstock, it helps make things more sturdy. All right, now if you see like gaps here, which I'm not seeing anything buckle, but you just want to add more glue. If it's buckling, it's because it's not attached entirely. So we just want to add some glue, and like here, my corner's popping up. So more glue. All right, and then same thing over here. This is our bendy piece. All right, doing that. So I want to just fold that over, put my glue down, and then I'm going to cover this flap. And press down. Okay. All right, more burnishing. There's a lot of glue, tape, burnish, glue, tape, burnish. But we want everything to stay nice and bubble and lump free. I've got some glue coming out there, but that is fine because that will glue nice. Okay. Now this does look a little lumpy from all the glue, but once that dries, it's going to be fine. And this is actually where we're putting our spine anyway. So, I am digging it. I love the lemon lime twist. Okay, so now we're ready to add our pages in. So again, we've got our 6 pages, which will be 12 sides, so 12 pages. So we can do tape and glue. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to fold that flat and do at least maybe just 2 lines of tape. And I'm getting those close to my score marks, but I don't want to touch them, touch the score marks. I don't want to impede any opening. All right, now I'm just going to burnish, burnish, burnish. Peel tape, add glue. Press down. Once I add the glue, let's set this here. The edges are where I really want to pay attention to. Like top and bottom, and then along the sides. All right, that was a little messy. Okay, now I'm going to open this up so it's like right in the middle. I just want to eyeball. So this is 5 1/4. No, this is 5. This is 5 1/4. So I need like an 1/8 of an inch gap from the very bottom. So I'm just going to come in here, and I actually need to look at my bottom piece, and I'm just eyeballing. So I get my fold marks in the middle-ish, and about an 1/8 inch up. All right, and then make sure everything is, and if it's not perfect, it's not a big deal, right? All right, I think that's good. And then let's open these back up again. I'm going to go to the very middle, and here's where, if it looks a little crooked, let's straighten it out according to our, our bottom and top. We want the pages in a straight line, and that looks close. It's a little closer to the bottom. And actually, do we have room to move? Oh, look at that. We can still move it a little bit. I do tell you, with the art glitter glue versus the other stuff I was using, the Barely Art glue, this glue has a longer wiggle room time. All right, now let's go ahead and just burnish everything. And I'm just going to open every page and go down as well. And this will set. All right. And let's go back to the middle. Down here. Down here. All right. Now, so we've got our book. I'm not going to cover the inside covers yet because I do want to have a ribbon closure. All right. And I do kind of want this to cure a little bit. So, but let's look at it. So we've got our book and it bends nicely. I do like the ribbon closure just to keep things closed, but really the more you use it and open it and close it, and once you start, you put pictures in it, it will want to stay closed. So, but I still like the ribbon closure. But imagine if you have this up on a shelf or something, it's going to stay smashed together like a regular book. So, man, I love this. Okay, so pages for this. And by the way, I did write down what all I used. So to make this whole thing, I used 6 pieces of 8.5 by 11 lemon lime twist. I used 1 piece of berry burst, which you're going to see. And then I used 14 pieces of 6 by 6 paper that I cut down. So let's go. And I saved all the cutoffs. So everything that was left for cutoffs. Hey, Deborah. I'm going to use at least 2 of these to make pockets. But our next bit, all of our pages. So I cut 12 pieces down to 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. All right. And then the other 2 pieces come in for our front and back covers. So I used the birthday Bright and Beautiful papers, which I did say this was going to be a birthday album, and it probably is. Like I said, I'm not going to have time to decorate it, but I think I'm going to go with a astronaut kind of theme because these papers, it's not like they have balloons on them or anything. There's nothing that dictates birthday. So it will be like a stellar birthday kind of thing. But meantime, so I cut 12 pieces down to 4 3/4. So it's an easy 1/4 inch border. And I don't think I put these in any particular order. But I kind of want maybe this on the front and back. So I'm not using like the same on each one. Like I'm not doing matching sets. So let's just do, that'll be page 1, page 2. Maybe I'll just go like this because this is fine. That's good. I just want all the different colors. And then that and that. That's going to work. That and, oop, I like the stripes. I love the lemon lolly. Then that and let's go that way. So you see, nothing is dictating birthday, birthday, birthday. All right, I like it. That is good. So I'm just going to start with the back since I'm here and glue these down. So again, 4 3/4 square for all of these. And that'll give us a nice 1/4 inch border. Press that down. And then this one. So we're going to cover our pages. I'm not adding any pockets or corner tuck spots or belly bands. I'm not doing any of that. You obviously can. But again, with this only a 1/8 of an inch in between, it's not a ton of room for a whole lot of 3D stuff. I just think this is a really good basic beginner book. And really, 12 pictures from one event, I think that's a good number. So we don't need to add any, flips and flaps and pull-outs and all. They're wonderful. I love them. It's just a way to add more surfaces for your pictures or for journaling. So I think for this, it's not necessary. We just want to have fun and make a pretty book and put some pictures in. Rose, not the spaceman. What pictures are going to go well with the spaceman? Well, I'll tell you, because it's like celebrating you is a blast. It could still be a spaceman birthday. But I went to a couple of museums with two of my girlfriends on Sunday, and we did go to the National Air and Space Museum. So I have some pictures. We also went to some, I think it was the Museum of American Crafts or something. I'll have to get the name of it. But they were supposed to have this big like American jewelry display, and they had taken it away. But it was still cool. And we had a really nice day. But I have more than 12 pictures from that. I may just have to pick the ones from the space album. But it doesn't necessarily have to be space pictures. Could just be somebody that I like. And like I said, celebrating you is a blast. Rose, I could make this album with pictures of us. I'll have to see, what do I have? They might be, from our Cape Cod trip. I'm going to have to get creative. You know, I started those, to scrapbook those pages. I think I made 12 by 12 pages. I even bought like, what do you call it? Like die cuts that said Cape Cod. Don't know where those went. I don't even know where the pages ended up. I have bins and bins of 12 by 12 pages that are finished, may or may not have pictures in them. They need to be put in albums. Yeah, Julie, Rose is funny. She loves me. I love her. Oh, good. All right, now, so some of these pages don't have any lemon lime in them. Don't care. I love pink and green. So it's all going to work for me. All right. Yeah, they're renovating the Air and Space Museum. So we were down in DC. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I mean, Baltimore has some museums, but we didn't go down there. We were in DC. But they're doing some renovations to the Air and Space one, and they're not going to be done till like 2025. But there's still plenty to see. So if you're ever down there, they had a good gift shop. They only charged me $5 for a giant bottle of water, which, you know, when we're at concerts, they want more than that. So I thought that was a bargain. Okay, I'm loving this so far. Oh my God. This, probably my favorite. I like these ones because they're, I guess, the bolder colors. All right, putting this on. 5 by 5, I think, is a good page size too, because you don't have to trim your pages down or your pictures down too much. Or you can order, I think you can order 4 by 4 pages. All right, let's get all these down. Oh my God. And then that starts to add a little bit of more bulk and sturdiness to our book. Okay. And this really will, to get all this glue to dry, it's going to be probably tomorrow before it's all completely dry. I love it. Okay. Now, I want to cover these, but I want to add ribbon closures. So we need to lay down our ribbon first. So I'm going to do, I'm using this denim ribbon because, I mean, it's retired, but to me, blue jeans go with everything. And there's blue in these pages, and the papers I'm going to use on the very front cover have blue in them too. So I just want to peel off. How much do I want? And I'm just eyeballing this, and I want to be able to tie a bow. So we cut 2 pieces that are the same. And that is wrapped all around there. If you had Misty Moonlight ribbon, you could use that. I do have some that was left over, but I really like the idea of the denim because to me, it's just like jeans. Goes with anything. All right, I'm going to start with, I'm eyeballing the middle. So I just want a piece of tape. Let's go here and burnish. So we're going to cover our inside covers, add our ribbon, and you know what? I want a little bit more. I want that like right up to there. We're going to do our inside covers. I'm going to show you how to make 2 different kind of pockets, which I know I've gone over it before, but for new people, doesn't hurt, right? To show everything. Attaching ribbon. I like the tear and tape, and then Fabri-Tac. All right, this is good glue for anything fabric to fabric, fabric to paper, ribbon, wood, leather, blah, 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 all the things. All right, it does have a stink to it though, so work in a well ventilated area. And then I'm just going to put this right on top of it. And then I'm going to come in and cover it pretty immediately because I don't want to just put this over here and then it gets the glue. So I cut 2 pieces of lemon lime twist because I want this to be all matchy matchy. These should be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Yep, they are. So let's glue these down. And I'm not bothering to stamp on these. You certainly could if you wanted to. I'm going to lay this right down, and I want it to match up with the piece that we laid down here in our center. So I want this top and bottom to match, and then out here, just make it even. Okay, let's press all this down, but I like it. It looks like a finished book. All right, we've got our handle there, and then we're going to do the same thing on the back. And let me try to flip that over here so I can kind of guess, make sure I put it in the same spot. So like right here. Let's take it out to about there. And burnish down. Peel up. Add our Fabri-Tac. And this stuff you get like, I got this at Joann's. I think they might have it at Michael's. I'm sure Amazon has it, but Joann's, sometimes you can use the coupon for it, right? All right, and then let's put this on. Press down. Get all this off your fingers. And then we'll take our second piece, again, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And getting that lined up. All right, perfect lineup. I do have that little bit in the bottom. I'm just going to have to get over that. All right, let me just show you the faux pas. So it's like my corners didn't come together. I trimmed the corners at too much of an angle. That's all that was. All right, but this, the rest of this is perfect. So we've got our 5 by 5 and 1-inch spine. Okay, let's do the very front and back covers. And then I'll come in and do some pockets in the inside. All right, so we have, these are all my cutoffs. I saved these because we're going to make a pocket. So I said we were going to do berry burst. And then we're going to use this star print. So we've got 2 pieces of berry burst, which I believe are 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Yep. And then the designer paper, still from that same pack. Remember I told you I used 14 pieces of this 6 by 6 paper. These are cut 5 by 5. Hey, Sharon. So 5 by 5 on the DSP. And I'm just doing, just gluing this down flat. This is why I decided it doesn't necessarily have to be a birthday album because there's nothing that says birthday on any of these papers. No balloons. The stars can go either way. And this is what made me think of the reach for the stars because, hello, It's right on the covers. So I am adding this to the front and back covers. All right, so we're just doing that. And you will decorate your covers however you want. Like right now, the book is made. You can add covers, add extra layers or not. But this, I love it. I love dolling it up more. All right, so we're going to put that on. I love it. Now you can use tape for this, but glue is my friend. All right. So we're just centering this. Okay, that looks really good. And I'm going to flip it over and press it down from the other side. Oh, I hear he's got the shower going. He must have run through poison ivy or something. Okay, so pressing that down. Then I've also got a little, I want to cover up this spine piece a little bit. So I've got a smidge. This is a 1-inch spine. So I cut 5 1/4 by 3/4 of the berry burst, and then a little 1/2 inch by 5-inch piece of the designer paper. And this just came off one of the offcuts from when I cut this down. So let me get this down here. Quarter-inch border looks really huge on something this small, but it's got to match this. All right. All right. Now this, I want to make sure I get this in the center. So I'm going to sit it up a little. There we go. Oh, look at that. I can sit it up like that. It can sit up on its own. So we're going to just glue this. Can you imagine like a cute little Easter, Halloween, Christmas, like anything? You can make any book to match whatever you need. Oops, that looks like something was a little bit long, but that's okay. Now, you could also make a label of something. So imagine this is going to sit up on a bookshelf like this. You could print a label, do something on the computer, spell out letters, you know, lots of possibilities. All right, I'm just trying to smash this down. All right, now we'll go to the back cover and glue this on. And then we'll just add 2 pockets on the inside. I'll show you that. So what I have found when I'm making these books is I generally have more pictures than I have space for. So I'll just make like a thick pocket in the back, a roomier pocket, and I'll just put the pictures, the extra pictures in there. All right, let me press this. Okay. So yeah, I'm not going to have time to doll up the cover, but I will definitely do it and then get pictures shared. Oh, I love it. Okay, so there are 2 styles of pockets. There is a tight pocket and a roomier pocket. So a tight pocket will be, we're just going to cut designer paper or cardstock. Let's just use designer paper. And we're going to glue it along 3 sides. No hinges, no side pieces, nothing. All right, what is this? Stars. I could just use this. This is leftover something or other. These little strips. All these strips are all the cutoffs from cutting those pieces. I don't know if I want the stars. Yeah, I'm going to use it. Why not? All right, so this looks like it's about 2 1/4, and I want this to go from edge to edge. All right, and this was a 5 1/4 piece, so I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. All right, I feel like that wasn't quite straight. There we go. Now this kind of pocket, if you want to do like take a little circle punch and punch the top of it, it's not really necessary. I've done it before, and I'm not going to do it this time. So this is just going to be a tight pocket that we can slide a couple of things in. So we want the glue right to the very edge on 3 sides, the 2 short sides and 1 long side. And then we just have to remember that the glue side goes on the bottom. All right, so that's all we want, glue on all 3 sides. And we're going to line it up with our paper. All right, there we go. Hold this in place. Penny, 2 letters. What? What did I miss? Oh my goodness. Funny. You know, I wish I had written down or got a card. You know, I think I might have one from the girl that I got my earrings at from the craft show. Okay, so this, let's look. This just lets you tuck something in here. All right, and I'm just going to leave that there. So a couple of somethings, but not like a lot. Now this side pocket, or this size, I want to make something roomier, so we need something that has edges. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to score, and let's just make this a 1/4 inch. So this part, 5 1/4, because that's how wide we want it to be finished. And then let's add 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch should be enough, right? 3/8, but we'll do 1/4 inch just because it's easy math. All right, 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch. So I want this to be the same height as that one. So this will be 2 1/4 and a 1/4. So we need to cut a piece that is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4 plus 2 other quarters is 5 3/4. All right. Easy, easy. So let's take from our scrap pile what I think will be 2 1/2. Let's just go with this one. And I'll do something else with the rest of this. All right. So 2 1/2 by 5 3/4. 2 1/2 by 5 3/4. 5 3/4. 2 1/2. Now we're going to take our scoreboard and score it at a 1/4 inch on 3 sides. All right. Now this is sometimes hard. You know, scoring's all on the left side. So I just like cross over my hands. So 1/4 inch, turn, 1/4 inch, turn, 1/4 inch. That's it. If you wanted 1/2 inch flaps, you just adjust your math accordingly. Now, fold. 1/4 inch really is a teeny tiny little glue area, but it doesn't affect the pocket size, so don't worry. All right, burnish all these, fold everything up. Now we have to trim just these little bitty corners. All right, and then we're going to glue these, and by having these side bits, it just makes the pocket roomier. All right, and I have found it's easy to glue this bottom flap on first. All right, so let's add our glue. And I'm just going to hold the sides in, and I want this edge to line up with this bottom edge of my page. All right, and then I'm just going to hold that in place, press down. All right, and now I can add glue to these side bits and then fold the whole thing up. And then that makes our other style pocket. I forget what this style is called. I call that one, the front one, a flat pocket. This is just a roomier pocket, but I'm sure it has like a real name. All right, I'm just going to hold these in place. 2 letters for your spine. Oh, Penny, you are right. This could be my special album to go with my special work earrings. Yes. All right, I think I'm done with this glue. Let me put my pin in. See, you never knew how much fun you could have with like an alphabet set, huh? You can make all sorts of special things. All right. Ugh. My glue wants to, I think because I was leaving it on its side and it wants to stay. There we go. Just got to get past that. All right. Get all this glue off my hand. Now, if you wanted to add a piece of designer paper on this pocket, or maybe an embossed bit just to make it stand out more, like that would be nice. But can you look down and see how this pocket is roomier, a lot roomier. So we can add several somethings. Let's take this whole pile of cutoffs, and all of that fits. Plus, there's still extra room. It's the fact that you're adding those extra sides and gluing those down that gives it the lift that makes more room for the pocket. So I wish I knew the technical terms, but that's why. Because you've got more room, more real estate. All right, so this is our book, and then we would tie it together. And then it would sit together. So all I have to do is like figure out what kind of decorating I want to do. And then, yeah, put something in the pocket and then glue. And, you know, I could use smaller pictures or gusset pocket. Yes, Sharon. This one is a gusset pocket. This is a flat pocket. So this one was just glued down flat. And then, yes, gusset. Ugh. Some of the words just don't want to come all the time, you know? All right. So, yeah, just our basic pages that we're just going to glue, tape our pictures down, add a little, we can make punches and, you know, add some journaling, tuck in all sorts of extra pockets. But I love the 5x5 page size. And I just love the fact that we can make any album, really any size we want. Our limit is, I guess, chipboard or whatever our cover base is, because we can always piece together the pages. But so that's that. I hope you are encouraged to give it a try and make your own album of anything, you know, any theme, right? But now you have the basics. So I think I went through, I think my first video was for the other size. Oh, sorry. I probably got to get going. I think my first video that I did link in the description was to the other size. And then this one will be for the square. So enjoy. Thank you for hanging out. Shares, likes, all that thing. And then next week I'll be doing Christmas in July. Okay. Good night. Thanks, everybody.